Hello. Hello, everyone. Let's wait for 3 or 4 minutes. Let everyone join in and then we proceed. All right. Let's wait for 3 or 4 minutes and then we proceed. Come on, quickly, everyone join in. Let's wait for 2 or 3 minutes more. Come on, everyone, join in. All right, taking on 2 or 3 minutes. Let people join in. Let's wait for another 2 minutes. Two more minutes. Another 30 seconds more. Let's wait for people to join. All right. Welcome to Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform, which provides you a world of courses, resources, content, live and recorded sessions to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. Also, welcome to Crack CA Exams with us, which is a vertical and channel of Unacademy that caters to the students of CA Foundation and Intermediate in their pursuit and journey of preparation for the CA Foundation and the Intermediate examination by providing top educators, quality content, and overall a great learning experience. So come, let's crack CA exams with Unacademy, India's largest online learning platform. Welcome to this session once again. Before we start, a brief introduction about the educator today. That's me. Hello, I'm Prathik Gupta. I'm a Bachelor of Commerce from Christ College, Bangalore University. I'm an associate member of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, an associate member of the Institute of Cost Accountants of India, and an associate member of the Institute of Company Secretaries of India. I'm also a law graduate from Karnataka State Law University and currently a practicing chartered accountant. I'm also a visiting faculty in a number of institutes for CA subjects and an educator for CA students both offline and online. Prior to starting on my own, I worked with SR Bartley Boy and Associates, that is the Indian member firm of Ernst & Young Global in the Audit and Assurance Department, and Ernst & Young India, EY India, in the Mergers and Acquisitions Department. Post that, I worked with the Manipal Group in Bangalore as the corporate controller of their Indian entity, as well as a German subsidiary located in Frankfurt, Germany. And it was only after I got back from Frankfurt, Germany, that I decided to do something on my own. And that gave me an opportunity to also be an educator, which in turn has given me the opportunity today to take this session for you, young, bright, and enthusiastic CA aspirants. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. And anytime during this session, in case you have any questions, queries, observations, or discussions to be made, please let me know. Please drop in a line and I will be happy to take it up as soon as possible, either for discussion or for problem solving, as the case may be. Just a second. Just hold on, just give me a second. Okay, and you can also look me up by my name, Prathik Gupta, Prathik, on YouTube. You find the many other sessions on YouTube that I have taken, which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right, so you need to go to YouTube, type in Prathik Gupta, Prathik Gupta, and that will give you a list of all the sessions that I've taken on the YouTube channel of Unacademy for your benefit or for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right. Now, Unacademy caters to you through three platforms. One is YouTube, special classes, and its premium platform, which is the Plus platform, which is a payment-based subscription model. Let's talk about each of these platforms. YouTube sessions are what you're attending right now. They're absolutely free of cost, but are of immense value to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate course, as they provide a lot of useful information. Special classes are conducted on the Unacademy Learning app, okay, which again are very valuable information for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And now let's come to the Plus platform, which is a payment-based subscription model and is also the Plus or the premium platform of Unacademy. All right, now I personally recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible due to the following reasons. Firstly, the Plus platform of Unacademy conducts daily live classes where you get to chat with your educator, engage in discussions, ask your doubts and answer polls, all this while the class is going on. Yes, you heard it right, all this while the class is going on. You do not need to wait for the end of the session, a couple of days after the session, for the weekend, or fix up an appointment with your educator. You can ask your doubts and discuss matters with your educator then and there on a real-time basis. It's as easy as lifting your hand up in a live classroom and your educator will be happy to clear your doubts and discuss matters with you. The second reason why I encourage and recommend you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the various live tests and quizzes it conducts on a regular basis to evaluate your preparation, and it also conducts various mock tests and quizzes on a regular basis to get a detailed analysis of your performance. Now you might ask, why is this evaluation and detailed analysis important? Please remember, when you're preparing for a professional examination, it is very important for you to know from time to time um, about your level of preparation, as to which areas you're well prepared, which areas you're not so well prepared, which areas you require um, more preparation, and which areas you do not. So basically it helps to break up your preparation in 3 levels. That is your strong areas, your not so strong areas, and your weak areas, so that whatever limited preparation time you have, you can use that on these areas accordingly. In the sense, you can use more time on your weak areas, a little lesser time on your not so strong areas, and less time on your strong areas, until and unless your weak areas and your not so strong areas eventually become your strong areas. Thereby this minimizes wastage of time and maximizes utilization of time. Okay, the third reason why I recommend and encourage you to become a part of the Plus platform of Unacademy is because of the structured courses it provides. All the courses are structured and in line with your exam syllabus to help you best prepare for it. It simply means all the Plus courses on the Plus platform of Unacademy are in line with your exam syllabus. And once you complete a Plus course on the Plus platform, you can rest assured that you've completed the syllabus without missing out on any important or major points. And lastly, and most importantly, the one subscription to the Plus platform of Unacademy gets you access to all the live and recorded courses to watch from the comfort of any of your devices. Which simply means once you subscribe to the Plus platform of Unacademy, it gives you unlimited access to all the live recorded special classes and all the live and recorded Plus courses that Unacademy has to offer to you to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. Not only this, it is also available on the comfort of any of your devices, which means it is available on your mobile phone, tablet, laptop, or desktop, as the case may be. And it is available 24/7 without any timing restrictions. That means you do not need to view it only between 10 to 5 or 10 to 6 or late at night. Whenever you get the time and you want to prepare for your examinations, you can log into your Unacademy learning app and make use of all the information that is there. And also importantly, it is available to you at any place, whether you're at home, whether you're coming back home from work, whether you're going to work from home, or you're traveling, or you're waiting for someone for a meeting, or you're on a vacation or in a native place and you have some time to prepare for these examinations. You can simply pull out your mobile phones, log into the Unacademy learning app, access all this information and start preparing for your examination without worrying about anything. Okay. So keeping these, all you require is a good internet connection or a data plan, which all of us are blessed with today. So keeping these things in mind, among many others, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform of Unacademy as soon as possible in order to accelerate and enhance your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate course. All right. Now, like I told you, the Unacademy, the special classes and the Plus courses are available to you on the Unacademy learning app. So for those of you who have downloaded the Unacademy learning app and are using it, I thank you very much and I request your support in the future as well. And for those of you who have not yet downloaded the Unacademy learning app, I request you to go to the Play Store on your mobile phone, download the Unacademy learning app, put in your mobile number where you will get an OTP, and using that OTP you can register on the Unacademy learning app. It's as simple as this, without any complications or problems. And in case you have any issues, you can always chat with a concerned person and they will help you out in your registration. Now, what happens once you log in and register on the Unacademy learning app? Once you register and log in on the Unacademy learning app, you get unlimited access to all the live and recorded special classes which will help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. And it also gives you access to all the live and recorded Plus courses that will help you in accelerating and enhancing your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate courses. So keeping these things in mind, please go ahead, download the Unacademy learning app on your phones, register on it using the OTPs, and make use of all the resources that are there at your disposal to help you in your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right, and also help to spread the word around. Try helping the people around you to get onto the Unacademy learning app. Help them register on it using their mobile numbers and OTPs, and also benefit from the various resources that Unacademy is offering to you in order to help you prepare for your various examinations. Now, like I told you, the Plus platform of Unacademy is a premium platform of Unacademy, and which is also a payment-based subscription model, which has various payment subscription packages The CA Foundation and Intermediate subscription packages provided by the Plus platform of Unacademy are as follows. The packages provided are for 1 month, 3 months. Just give me a second. 1 month, just 1 second. 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months. The 1 month package will normally cost you rupees 3,500. The 3 months package will cost you rupees 8,750. The 6 month package will cost you about 14,000 rupees. The 12-month package will cost you about 17,500, and the 24 months package will cost you about 21,000 rupees. Please remember, this is the list price of the packages. Before you make the payment for any package of your choice, please do not forget to use the code Pratik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. I repeat, please do not forget to use the code Pratik, Prathik, that's me, to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. So the after discount price of the various packages are as follows. The 1 month package will cost you rupees 3,150. The 3 month package will cost you rupees 7,875. The 6 month package will cost you rupees 12,600. The 12 months package will cost you rupees 15,750, and the 24 months package will cost you rupees 18,900. So you see, immediately you're getting a 10% discount on the above listed price when you use my code Pratik. Now, I personally recommend you to start off with at least 12 months, if not 24 months, for the following 2 reasons. Firstly, it is very cost effective. If you compare the per month cost of the 12-month package and compare it with the per month cost of the 1 month package, you will see that you are getting major cost savings there itself. And secondly, and most importantly, since the CA Foundation and Intermediate courses are provided to you in one package, a 12-month package will be highly beneficial for you because, firstly, the entire duration of both these courses, that is your CA Foundation and the Intermediate course, is being provided in one subscription, and normally it takes about 12 months time for you to prepare and clear the CA Foundation and the Intermediate course. So if you're getting a package that covers the duration of both your courses at a very cost effective price, I think that's a very good deal. Okay, having said this, you're free to choose the package of your choice, but before you make a payment, please do not forget to use the code Pratik to get an instant discount of 10% on the above listed price. You can also avail the option of no cost EMI available on 6 months, 12 months, and 24 months packages. Just in case you do not wish to make the payment at one shot, you can avail the benefit of the no cost EMI option. The payment option available to you is internet banking, debit card, credit card, and also the coins that you've accumulated when you watch the special classes can be redeemed when you pay for your Plus subscription. So keeping these things in mind, I strongly recommend and encourage you to become part of the Plus platform as soon as possible in order to enhance and accelerate your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examinations. All right, please take about a minute, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute. All right, just about 10 more seconds, then we proceed. Okay, let's proceed. Now, like I told you, the Unacademy Learning app houses all the live and recorded special classes that are available for you to use for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. I have also taken many special classes on the Unacademy Learning app. Below are the snapshots of few of the many special classes that I've taken: Revision Test Papers, the Sale of Goods Act, the Indian Contracts Act, Companies Act, Partnership Accounts, accounts of NPOs, final accounts of entities, consignment accounts, and many more, which are there for your disposal and perusal on the Unacademy Learning app. So please go to the Unacademy Learning app, go to my profile, Prathik Gupta, and you will see the many special classes that I've conducted there. Go through them and make use of it for your preparation for the CA Foundation and Intermediate examination. Also, here I've given you the links to few of the many special classes that I've conducted on the Unacademy Learning app. So you can either click on these links or copy and paste these links on your browser to take you directly to the special class on your Unacademy Learning app. So the special classes are on the Indian Contracts Act, Sale of Goods Act, Indian Partnership Act, the Limited Liability Partnership Act, Companies Act, Basics of Communication, Accounting Concepts, and the Revision Test Papers issued by the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. So you can make use of all of them for your preparation. And while doing so, if you have any questions or queries, you can always get back to me and I will be happy to help you out. Okay, please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take a minute. Okay, let's proceed with revision test papers, November 2020, and whatever questions we have discussed already. In part 1, 2, and 3, we will not discuss today. We will start with where we stopped today. And the way I will do things is I will read the question, explain the answer to you, explain the question to you, give you about 3 or 4 minutes to read it, and ask me any questions that you may have. All this we have finished, so I'm not going to go through this again. You need to go through the part 1, 2, and 3 to know more about these. Yes, we did this, yes, in the last class, and today we will continue with question number 4. Okay, so let's start off. Question number 4. X, Y, and Z jointly borrowed rupees 50,000 from A. The whole amount was repaid to A by Y. Decide in the light of Indian Contracts Act 1872 whether Y can recover the contribution from X and Z. The legal representative of X are liable in case of death of X, and Y can recover the contribution from the assets in case Z becomes insolvent. Okay, so these are the 3 cases in which we need to answer this question. All right, please take about a minute, go through the question, and then we look at the answer. Take about a minute, go through the question, and then we look at the answer. Okay, let's look at the answer. Section 42 of the Indian Contracts Act 1872 requires that when 2 or more persons have made a joint promise, then unless a contrary intention appears from the contract, all such persons jointly must fulfill the promise. In the event of the death of any of them, his representative jointly with the survivors, and in the case of death of all the promisers, the representatives of all the jointly of all jointly must fulfill the promise. All right. So firstly, if it's a joint promise, then all of the people who made the promise should equally fulfill their obligation. In case any of the person who's made a promise passes away, then the legal representatives of the person who has passed away, along with the survivors, needs to make good the obligation. In case all the promisers pass away, then the legal representatives of all the promisers shall jointly fulfill the promise. That's what the first paragraph means. Okay. Section 43 allows the promisee to seek performance from any of the joint promisers. The liability of the joint promisers has thus been made not only joint but joint and several. Section 43 provides that in the absence of express agreement to the contrary, a promisee may compel any one or more of the joint promisers to perform the whole of the promise. So when there are more than two people or more than one person who have jointly made a promise to a person, then the person to whom the promise has been made can either ask all of them, or he can ask one of them to fulfill the obligation. He cannot be compelled to ask all of them. So if it's his choice, he can ask X, Y, or Z, anyone. Okay, please take a minute or two, go through the slide, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. Okay, please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Take about 2 more minutes. Any questions? Please ask. Yes, any questions? Please ask. Take another 2 minutes. Yes, any questions? Please ask. Almost there. Okay. So, section 43 allows the promisee to seek performance from any of the joint promisors, that is X, Y, or Z. The liability of the joint promisors has thus been made not only joint but joint and several. Section 43 provides that in the absence of an express agreement to the contrary, the promisee may compel any one or more of the joint promisors to perform the whole task. That means X, Y, or Z could be asked by A to repay the amount, okay, as per section 43. As per the provisions of the above sections, Y can recover the contribution from X and Z because X, Y, and Z are joint promisors. Now, because Y has paid the entire amount not to C, not to A, okay, Y can recover X and Z's contribution from them. The legal representative of X are liable to pay the contribution to Y. Okay, so in case X passes away, the legal representatives of X are liable to pay the contribution to Y. However, a legal representative is liable only to the extent of property of the deceased received by him. That means the personal assets of the legal representatives cannot be attached to clear the property of the loan of the deceased person. Only the extent of deceased person's assets can be used. Okay, so Y can also recover the contribution from Z's assets. So Y can take the contribution from X or his legal representative or Z's assets. Okay, but A can take the money from X, Y, or Z, anyone. He just wants the money. Please take 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take another 2 minutes. Yes, take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. I'm taking it nice and easy so that you can understand the provisions, read it, and then ask me any questions that you may have. Any questions, please ask. All right, let's proceed with the next question. Question 5. A student was induced by his teacher to sell his brand new car to the later at less than the purchase price to secure more marks in the examination. Accordingly, the car was sold. However, the father of the student persuaded him to sue his teacher. State whether the student can sue the teacher. Okay, so a teacher used his position and told a student that if you sell your brand new car to me at less than the purchase price, I will give you more marks. So the student sold his car to the teacher. Now the student's father tells the student to file a legal case against his teacher. Now we need to see whether the student can sue the teacher or not. Okay, let's look at the solution. Yes, A can sue his teacher on the ground of undue influence under the provisions of the Indian Contract Act 1872. According to Section 16 of the Indian Contracts Act 1872, a contract is said to be induced by undue influence where the relations subsisting between the parties are such that one of the parties is in a position to dominate the will of the other and he uses that position to obtain an unfair advantage over the other. Okay, now please remember, one of the essential features of a valid contract is there should be free consent. That means the consent should not have been received through any of these modes like undue influence, coercion, misrepresentation, fraud, or any other thing. So undue influence simply means where a person is in a position to influence the decision of the other and that person makes use of that position to change the decision of the other person, then it is said to be, then the consent of the second person is said to be obtained through undue influence. Now examples of undue influences: the teacher, student, a boss and an employee, okay, and things like that. Okay, so now a person is deemed to be in position to dominate the will of another where one holds the real or apparent position, a father and son also, where he holds a real or apparent authority over the other, where he stands in a fiduciary relationship to the other, where he makes a contract with a person whose mental capacity is temporarily or permanently affected by reason of age, illness, or mental or body distress, for example, an old illiterate person. So these are the situations in which consent is said to have been obtained through undue influence. All right, and if any consent has been obtained from anyone through undue influence, then that contract is void at the option of the person whose consent has been so obtained. So in this present case, the student can sue the teacher because the student's consent of selling the car at lesser than the market price was obtained through undue influence. All right, please take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Please take about 2 or 3 minutes. Any questions, please ask. Take about 2 minutes more. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Read it carefully. Any questions, please ask me. Take a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. All right. Let's go to the next question. Explain the meaning of quasi contracts. State the circumstances which are identified as quasi contracts by the Indian Contracts Act 1872. So, a direct question. Explain the meaning of quasi contracts. State the circumstances which are identified as quasi contracts by the Indian Contract Act 1872. Answer. Quasi contracts. Even in the absence of a contract, certain social relationships gives rise to certain specific obligations to be performed by certain persons. These are known as quasi contracts. As they create some obligations, as in the case of regular contracts. Quasi contracts are based on the principles of equity, justice, and good conscience. Now, please remember, these are not actually written contracts, but these contracts create certain relationship or certain circumstances, create certain relationships based on the principles of equity, justice, and good conscience. The salient features of quasi contracts are: such a contract is always a right to money and generally, though not always, to a liquidated sum of money. So, a quasi contract has to be generally in for a liquidated sum of money. It does not arise for any agreement between the parties concerned, but the obligation is imposed by law. So, quasi contracts are basically contracts that are created by law. They are not actually a written agreement between them and something created by two persons sitting across the table, but it is created by law. It's more of a moral responsibility. The rights available are not against the world, but against a particular person or persons only. So, in this respect, it resembles to a contractual right. So, whatever remedies are available to the party in a quasi contract is available only against a particular person and not against the whole world, as in the case of normal contracts. All right. So, this is about quasi contracts. Please go through this. Take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 or 3 minutes, go through this. Any questions? Please ask. Take about 2 more minutes, go through this. Any questions? Please ask me. Hmm. Hmm. Any questions? Please ask. Just give me a second. I'll just add some water. Okay. Okay. Take care. Just be careful. Any problem with it? Ask a person. Okay, thanks. All right. Are we done? Are we done? Okay, let's move on. Now, the circumstances identified as quasi contracts. Okay, pay attention. Claim for necessaries supplied to a person incapable of contracting. Any person supplying necessaries of life to a person who are incapable of contracting is entitled to claim the price from the other person's property. Similarly, where money is paid to such persons for purchase of necessaries, reimbursement can be claimed. So, see, the first question is if a person is incapable of contracting, in case he is physically handicapped or he is not of a sound mind, and any person supplies necessaries of life, that is, necessary items to that person to enable his normal life, then the person who is supplying the necessaries to the person incapable of contracting can claim the price from the other person's property. So even though they don't enter into a contract, but he is entitled to get a reimbursement from that person's property. Similarly, where money is paid to such persons for purchase of necessaries, reimbursement can be paid. So if instead of purchasing something for him, if money is paid to him in order to help him to purchase something, then that reimbursement also can be claimed. All right. Then the second one is payment by an interested person. A person who has paid a sum of money which another person is obliged to pay is entitled to be reimbursed by that other person, provided the payment has been made by him to protect his own interest. Now see, there are two people. A took money from B, okay, and A has to pay B, right? So B comes and asks A for money, and A says, no, I don't have the money, and things like that. Now looking at this, A's friend C looks at it and he says, okay, no problem, this thing, you don't have the money now, so I'll pay the money to B. So if C pays the money to B, then C has every right to get that money reimbursed from A. A cannot say that, no, my contract was with B, why did you pay it? No, C paid it because of his interest. So in that case, C will have to pay C can take the money or reimbursement from A. That's the second point. Third point, the obligation of a person enjoying benefits of a non-gratuitous act, where a person lawfully does anything for any other person or delivers anything to him not intending to do so gratuitously, and such other person enjoys the benefit thereof, the latter is bound to pay compensation to the former in respect of. So if any person does something for another person which is not meant to be a gratuitous or a free act or charitable act, then the person who's enjoyed the benefit of the act of the other person is under an obligation to pay compensation or reimburse it to the other person who has done something on a non-gratuitous act. Okay, so these are three of the circumstances identified as quasi-contract. There are more in the next slides. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Yeah, take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Take another minute. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions? Please ask. Okay. Then, fourth point is responsibility of finder of goods. A person who finds goods belonging to another person and takes them into his custody is subject to the same responsibility as if he were the bailee. So, if a person loses some goods, and if another person finds these goods, he should take care of those goods as if those goods belong to him, and he should make all reasonable efforts to find out the real owner of the goods. Even after making the efforts, if he is not able to find the person of the thing, then he can keep the goods and then he can dispose it however he wants. Okay, so that's the fourth point. Then the fifth point is liability for money paid or thing delivered by mistake or by coercion. A person to whom money has been paid or anything delivered by mistake or under coercion must repay or return it. In all the above cases, contractual liability arises without any agreement between the parties. Okay, so to a person to whom money has been paid or anything delivered by mistake or under coercion must repay or return it. So that is also a kind of a quasi contract. In all the above cases, contractual liability arises without any agreement between the parties. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Okay, take about 2 minutes, go through this. And then we proceed. Any questions? Please ask. कितने दिए उसको? Take about a minute more. Any questions? Please ask. Okay, let's go to the next question. What is the law relating to determination of compensation on breach of contract contained in section 73 of the Indian Contracts Act 1872? I repeat, what is the law relating to determination of compensation on breach of contract contained in the section 73 of the Indian Contract Act 1872? Okay, let's look at the answer. Compensation on breach of contract, section 73 of the Indian Contracts Act 1872 provides that when a contract has been broken, the party who suffers by such breach is entitled to receive from the party who has broken the contract compensation for any loss or damage caused to him, thereby which naturally arose in the usual course of things from such breach, or which the parties knew when they made the contract to be likely to result from the breach of it. Such compensation is not given for any remote or indirect loss or damage sustained by reason of the breach. The explanation to this section further provides that in estimating the loss or damage from the breach of contract, the means which existed of remedying the inconvenience caused by the non-performance of the contract must be taken into account. Alright, now please remember, one second. Please remember that a breach of contract is said to be when two people in a contract, one of them disagrees to perform his part of the obligation, there is a breach of contract. So obviously when one person disagrees to perform his part of the obligation, the other person should have suffered a loss or a thing, and for that loss he can claim a compensation from the person who breached the contract. Now this loss should be directly arising from the breach of such contract, and it should not be remotely concerned with the breach of the contract, that because this happened, this also could have happened, that also could have happened, and this loss could have happened. No, it should be a direct loss, that because that person has breached it, if the first person has incurred any losses due to the direct breach, that amount of compensation he can claim. And especially if the person told the other person that this is the reason I'm getting into a contract, so please do not breach the contract, and because if you breach the contract, it will be a loss for me. So in that case, the compensation has to be paid. Okay, so like I said, such compensation is not given for any remote or indirect loss or damage sustained by reason of breach. The explanation to this section further provides that in estimating the loss of damage from the breach of contract, the means which existed in remedying the inconvenience caused by the non-performance of the contract must be taken into account. That means the person who has suffered from such breach of contract, what are the steps he took in order to make good the inconvenience caused by the breach of the contract should be taken into account while determining the amount of compensation. All right, please take about a minute or two, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Okay, let's move to the next one, the Sale of Goods Act. Question number 8. Classify the following transactions according to the type of goods they are. Okay, now we need to classify these transactions. The first one, a wholesaler of cotton has 100 bales in his godown. He agrees to sell 50 bales and these bales were selected and set aside. Okay, then second one, A agrees to sell to B 1 packet of salt out of the lot of 100 packets lying in his shop. Third, T agrees to sell to S all the oranges which will be produced in his garden this year. Okay, so now we need to classify the following transactions according to the types of goods they are. All right. So let's read the first one. A wholesaler of cotton has 100 bales in his godown. He agrees to sell 50 bales and these bales were selected and set aside. On selection, the goods become ascertained. In this case, the contract is for sale of ascertained goods, as the cotton bales to be sold are identified and agreed after the formation of the contract. Okay, so please remember, this person goes into a godown, a wholesaler's godown, and this wholesaler has about 100 bales of cotton. So the customer says, okay, out of these 100 bales, I want 50 bales. And he actually manually selects those 50 bales of cotton and keeps it aside and tells him that I want only these. So then the minute he does that, they become ascertained goods. Okay, ascertained means identified or specific goods. In this case, the contract is for sale of ascertained goods, as the cotton bales to be sold are identified and agreed after the formation of the contract. All right, please take about 2 minutes, go through this slide, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions, please ask. Take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Okay, so let's go to the second one. If A agrees to sell to B one packet of salt out of the 100 packets lying in a shop, it is a sale of unascertained goods because it is not known which packet is to be delivered. Okay, so we haven't really picked out the packet and this thing and said that this is the packet that needs to be sold. So this is the case of unascertained goods. Let's look at the third case. T agrees to sell to S all the oranges which will be produced in his gardens this year. That means the oranges have not been produced and it will be produced this year. So it is a contract of sale of future goods amounting to agreement to sell. So there cannot be a contract of sale for future goods. So only when the future goods are ready can the contract be made. So far it will be an agreement to sell. All right, please take about 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes, go through this and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask me. Take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask me. Any questions in the previous slide also, please ask me. Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask me. Hi Jayalakshmi, how are you? At the moment, revision test papers is going on, Jayalakshmi. Revision test papers for business law. We are doing November 2019. A few questions. Okay. Any questions you may have, please ask. Good evening. How are you? All good? Okay. Any questions, Jalakshmi? If you have, please ask. Okay. Let's go to question number 9. Now, Suraj sold his car to Sohan for rupees 75,000. After inspection and satisfaction, Sohan paid rupees 25,000 and took possession of the car and promised to pay the remaining amount within a month. Later on, Sohan refuses to give the amount remaining on the ground that the car was not in a good condition. Advise Suraj as to what remedy is available to him against Sohan. Okay, so the question goes like this: Suraj sold his car to Sohan for rupees 75,000. Sohan went, took his car after inspection, satisfaction, everything, paid him 25,000 rupees and said, the remaining 50,000 rupees I will pay you in a month. After a month, Sohan refused to pay the amount to Suraj, saying that the car was not in good condition. Now, Suraj wants to take legal action against Sohan, so we need to advise him what legal action can be taken against Sohan. All right, that's the question. Got the question? Okay, let's proceed. Answer. As per section 55 of the Sale of Goods Act 1930, an unpaid seller has the right to institute a suit for price against a buyer personally. The said section lays down. Okay, so that means if a seller is not paid the amount by the buyer, the seller can take a legal action against him as per section 55 of the Sale of Goods Act 1930. Now, what does the section say? Where under a contract of sale, the property in the goods has passed to the buyer and the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay the goods, the seller may sue him for the price of the goods. Okay, so when there is a sale transaction where the property in the goods has passed on from the seller to the buyer and the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay for the goods, the seller may sue him for the price of the goods as per section 55(1). Clear? Okay, and then where under a contract of sale, the price is payable on a certain day, irrespective of delivery, and the buyer wrongfully neglects or refuses to pay such price, the seller may sue him for the price. It makes no difference if the property on the goods has passed or not, have not been appropriate to the contract. So, in case there is a contract between the buyer and seller, and the buyer tells the seller that on a particular date I will pay you. So, irrespective whether the property in the goods passes on that date or not, or whether the goods are appropriated or not, if the payment does not come by the buyer to the seller on that date, the buyer has a right to initiate legal action against him. Please take about 2 minutes, go through this, and then we proceed. Any questions, please ask. Okay, take about 2 minutes, go through this. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Yes. Any questions, please ask. Are we done? Take about a minute more. Any questions, please ask. Any questions, please ask. Take about a minute more. Any questions? All right. Now, this problem is based on the above provisions. Hence, Suraj will succeed against Sohan for recovery of the remaining amount. Why? Because firstly, the property in goods has passed on from Suraj to Sohan, and Sohan willfully neglects to pay the amount. So that way, Suraj can file a case against him. And next is on a given date, Sohan said, "I will pay you the amount within a month," which he did not pay. So again, under the second provision also, a case can be filed against him. So apart from this, Suraj is also entitled to interest on the remaining amount. Now what is the remaining amount? Rupees 50,000. He can get interest on that until the date of payment. Interest during pendency of the suit. So if your suit goes on for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or whatever time, the interest will be paid on that, and the cost of proceedings, that is your legal fees, your court fees, and all that, all those legal charges, everything will also have to be paid by Sohan to Suraj. Okay, so please take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. Okay, take a minute, go through this, and then we proceed. All right, so if you're done with this, we will stop today's session with this. We will continue tomorrow at 4 p.m. with revision test papers May 2020. All right, thank you so much, and I will see all of you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Good night and take care.